Stay close. Hello, everybody. This is Revi, and we had a reboot. It's always something, I swear. The Fearless Woman is live now. Oh my gosh, cool. It's working. Yay. I'm using StreamYard again, which is a really cool platform that allows you to go live on multiple platforms. So I'll see your comments, but I won't know who it's from. So I apologize for that. You can go to streamyard.com/Facebook and add your name as a person to comment, and then you'll be, they just protect your privacy. So anyway, so I can't see who's on. I'm sorry. I just see waving hands. I'll try and look at it on my phone. Today I'm talking about money. I'm talking about money, career. It's kind of like a really broad subject. I don't know if I'm going to continue it. I'm actually updating my banner again. I know money is very, very important, but my real niche is, empowerment and love. So I think money, like, you enter a whole new world. I don't want to not talk about it because I think it's very important. A lot of, women in the tribe and in general are very stressed out about money. So I definitely have thoughts and concepts. And as I talk about worth and confidence, I'll always talk about money. So my biggest takeaway that I'm going to tell you right now. Hi, guys. Hi, everybody. Hi, I can't see. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea, Rivka. Tell me your name in the comment. Colleen, gorgeous. So then I can see who you guys are, because, again, it doesn't show me who you are. So I'm going to give you a mind-blowing concept when it comes to money. And I got this from Susie Ormond, who is the guru with money that I started watching, I think, in my 20s. I watched her once doing a live interview, and I'll never forget what she said about money. She said that money has to be treated like a human. Literally, she said, I know the lighting is weird here with this StreamYard. So she said, money has to be treated like a human. She said, you have to respect it. You have to nurture it. You have to love it. You have to honor it. You have to water it. You have to know about it. You have to be educated about it. You have to want to give, want to receive a relationship. And I was like, that's mind blowing. When you think about money like that, because people, you know what they do when it comes to money? Don't talk to me about it. I'm stressed. The other day, a friend of mine said, I can't even look in my bank account. I'm too afraid. When you have that type of relationship with money, you're going to have problems with money. Everything is energy. I mean, that's really, to me, where I am in my life right now, that I recognize that everything is energy and everything is about vibration. Our brain is actually a radio station. It is true. Have you ever really thought about how a radio station works? I mean, people don't really sit down and think how these things work. They just go about it, and they're so robotic and automatic that you're missing out big time. So just like a radio station works with different frequencies, so does our brain. That's how, they even say that the brain, we only tap into 10% of our brain. Like, our brain is one huge electrical impulse. It's electricity. So what you think goes out. And if you ignore that, if you just ignore that and say it's hogwash, okay. But I'm here to tell you that there's reality to that. It's true. So the first and foremost, when it comes to money, guys, is you cannot be afraid of it. You cannot be, disgusted by it. You cannot be repelled by it, because as Susie Ormond says, whatever relationship you have with money is what it will give you back. So the first and foremost thing with money is every single day, you should be checking your bank account. You should know exactly. I know every morning and every night. I even know during the day. I want to know what's going in, what's going out, if it's wrong, if it's right. I respect every penny, every dollar that I spend, every dollar that I earn. I say thank you. Okay, was this spent in a way I want to spend it? Was this earned in a way that I'm proud of earning it? Was this invested in a way I want to invest it? That's the whole concept of money. So that's the one part of it. The sooner you get comfortable with money, the sooner you have a positive relationship. I don't care if you're broke. I don't care if you're minus in the bank account. That's not what this is about. This is about having a very respectful relationship with money, just like you want to have a respectful relationship with your husband, your boyfriend, your kids, your family. You must show money respect. People say money doesn't grow on trees and, money's evil. No. Money is a necessary commodity in our world today. Money is what you need for financial security and then ultimately financial freedom. Now, not everyone gets to the financial freedom, but all of us should get to financial security. This is a basic, visceral, necessary need in order to have function and ability to cope with life. So if money is the core angst in your life, don't ignore it. Head on, bring it on. Let's go. What do I need to do to bring in more money? You can't ignore it and be frightened of it and freak out. It doesn't help. It doesn't serve. And it just makes the problem worse. Like my girlfriend the other day, she goes, I'm not looking in my bank account. I refuse to. I won't go there. Okay, that's really immature and stupid. It really is. Because you're negative, repelling. No, you need to go in your bank account right now, see what the hell is going on. If you're minus, borrow money, figure it out. Do not get charged $35 on it. I mean, these are all things that you should be doing. And when you start saying, oh my God, I can't be in minus, overdraft, you start caring about your money. Now, all of a sudden you care about it. Before you were like, I can't. Now you're like, no. If I'm minus, can I borrow $100? What can I do? Close a bank account, get a debit card. I don't know. Now all of a sudden the mindset is different. Then there's the aspect of how to make money, right? So a lot of women, spent a lot of their lives being married and not working. And that's fair enough. There's, all good. It's not that you weren't working. You were working at home, raising the kids, keeping the home. I mean, I often say the biggest challenge for me, because I did work, was my home never really functioned at the place that I wanted to be. And I have girlfriends that are amazing full-time homemakers, and their home is their business, is their life, and it's magnificent. So, don't beat yourself up over that. You know how I feel about that. I don't allow it. The fearless woman is not allowed to beat herself up. So I will not tolerate anyone saying, I wasted and I didn't work and what. No, because you were still living your life and you were still happy and you were still doing great things, raising your family, keeping the home. So I don't accept that methodology. But what I also don't accept is a cop-out when it comes to now making money. There's no cop-outs. I can't stand that. I have zero tolerance for that. I can't. There's no money to be made. I can't find a job. I can't figure it out. How? Tell me how. I can't figure it out. There's no jobs out there. There's a lot of jobs out there, and there's a lot of ways to make money. The problem with that mindset is you. The problem isn't the jobs. The problem is you. There's always a way to make money. But if you're not willing to make money in ways of making money, then the problem is you. So if you are truly at a desperate place that you need money like now, then you need to do whatever you need to do that. I don't care if it's cleaning houses. I don't care if it's dog walking. I don't care if it's driving people around. I have a friend of mine right now. She just lost her job. Okay. She basically is a great cook, and she contacted a bunch of people and asked them if they wanted prepaid meals. And they all said yes. She's got like 10 people right now paying her, and she's going to go buy the food, make the food, and deliver it. This is what I'm talking about. She's a go-getter. She's a doer. See, it's not coming to you. People think that they're like, a little, like, look at the dogs, like you're a puppy waiting. No, that's not the mindset with money and with working. It's not like that. If you're going to be like that, yeah, you won't make it. And again, that's the problem with a lot of women that are divorced. They're so desperate for money and income and safety and security, if you think about it, that they just revert to the guy. They're like, oh, well, I'll just marry a guy and he'll have the money, and I got to find a rich man. So now all of a sudden the requirement of meeting a man is not meeting a man for love or for honor or respect. Now you're like, no, he's got to make enough money for the two of us. Why the hell should that guy give you money? Like, you're not giving him money. Why should he give you money? That's a total paradigm shift right there. I say like attracts like, you know, so if you're coming into that place of needing a man to pay your bills, this is already a place of lack, and desperation. And we know what happens when you go out there and you look for men to find a man to take care of you financially. It's a problem. You'll most likely attract a predatory man who'll probably end up moving in with you, and you'll be paying his bills and taking care of his kids. True story. I mean, this is what happens. It's when you're not looking for a man for those that you could very well get a very wealthy man, a successful man, a man who's more than happy, wants to share his wealth and his success with you. It's not a God-given right. He has every right to say no. But when you come from a position of you securing your own financial stability, your whole mindset in dating is different, but you will end up attracting a man who then is also earning money, because now your mindset is earning money. So now your vibration level is different. You see how all that happens? Oh, I just noticed my cool logo is up there. It's so cool. So there's no excuse. You know, when people say I can't get a job, I'm going to say you are just not, it's called hubris. There's always something for you to do. I remember I didn't have a green card when I was in high school. I immigrated to this country. I grew up in Israel and Hong Kong, Taiwan. Don't even ask. We moved a million times all over the world, and we didn't have papers, and at the time we didn't have money. It was really, really bad when I was growing up. I did babysitting and I sold flowers for cash. I was young. I remember I was a cheerleader. Take care of yourself first. You put that in my brain and it's working. Good, girlfriend. Colleen, I love how you guys are writing your name. That's great. I wish I could see who you, hello, my beautiful Colleen. Great words. Awesome. So you got to put your ego on the shelf. If you're that desperate for money, the ego goes on the shelf. It just has to be shelved, because if your ego is not being shelved for money, then it's not really true what you're saying. Like, you don't really need money that badly. See, a person who really needs money badly, they're going to make things happen. The other day, there was a company where I live here. There's a lot of restaurants, kosher restaurants. This one business was, I mean, guys, restaurants have suffered, right? Restaurants got annihilated. What happened? The guy's making food on the corner. Like, he had a stand on the corner of the street. People were buying food from him because they also know him. They know his restaurant. This is a man who has to make money. So don't, the fearless woman, she's a go-getter. She's a doer. She's not this. This doesn't help when you're like, give me. Who can give me? No, it's not about who can give me. It's where can I grab it from? The money is everywhere, but it's for you to go and grab and take what belongs to you. It's not for you to say, give it to me. Give it to me. I know that I sometimes come across as angry. It's not anger, it's passion. I work on that. I know people say you look so pissed, Rebbe. I'm not pissed. I'm extremely passionate. To me, it's in today's day and age, it's just inexcusable. It's truly inexcusable for you to not be earning money. There's no excuse for it. There just isn't. Go to YouTube and say how to make money. Yeah, there's a bunch of different ways to do it, but what you need to do is test it. So there's sites out there. I'm going to put a website of this amazing woman from TikTok. It's a little overwhelming because she gives you like thousands of ways to make money from home and be a stay-at-home mom and all that. And so it can get overwhelming, but what are you doing anyway? People are like, but there's so many ways. Which way is the way? I don't know which way is the way. You are not me and I'm not you. So you might have a skill that you're a very good typist, or you might have a skill that you're a very good writer. There's companies out there that pay for written articles. They will pay you to write articles for them. Now, yeah, you might have to come in at only $10, per article. That might take you an hour, but what are you doing anyway? This is my favorite part. They're like, oh, $10 for an hour. What are you doing anyway? You're on freaking Facebook. You're, I don't know, complaining. I just, it's, to me, it's inexcusable. It's truly inexcusable. We live in a day and age today that we are so friggin' lucky. We are so lucky of how we can make money. It's just absolutely tremendous. Just between dog walking, you know, I don't know if, you know, just between going on Craigslist or, you know, working at Instacart. I mean, I'm sorry. I understand Instacart is hiring and you know, those places are hiring. Walmart, these are companies that have been hiring. But all of a sudden the job's too beneath me. See, there's the ego. So how badly do you really need to make money? That's what I'm talking about. I used to babysit in college, I remember, for $2 an hour because I didn't have a green card. I couldn't even get a real job. You know, I was going to do anything. So it is truly about ego, and it's also truly about how badly do you really want it. I want it so bad. I have a goal. My personal goal for money is to make 7 figures in 1 year. That's my goal. Your goal might be to make, you know, $1,000 a month. That's your goal. Like, your goal is not my goal. My goal is not your goal, but they're both equally important and they're both equally attainable. It's based on here. So I have had certain goals in my life and I have always made 6 figures for many, many years. I've never been able to plateau from that. That's been frustrating for me. So now for me in the digital world, my goal was, obviously with COVID, everything got thrown off. So by 2021, I will make $1 million. That is my goal, and it will happen because I'm hungry. I'm friggin' starving. I'm going after what belongs to me. That is my perspective when it comes to money. It is mine. It belongs to me. Guys, the money is everywhere. It is just everywhere, but you have to fight for it viscerally. Food, it's paying for your bills. You know, years ago when I worked at it's a long story how I got my green card. I often say, even though my husband was like, you know, not a healthy person for me to be with, to a certain degree, he helped me a lot because he forced me. I came to this country, we didn't have papers. I had a very, very irresponsible and reckless father, and I didn't have a green card. And when I graduated from college, I had 1 year left to either get sponsored or have to go back to Israel. Like, there was nothing about me that's Israeli, like nothing. I was a cheerleader in high school. I was voted, you know, most likely this and that. I'm like, I'm not going back to Israel. Like, I knew that I wasn't going back to Israel, and I knew that I would get a green card. Do you think I had any idea how? Hell no, I had no idea. But when you're so certain of your conviction of what needs to happen, your body and your mind will take you there. That's how it works. So we ended up going to a consult with an attorney that my husband forced me to go to because I kept saying, I don't want to see this immigration attorney. You needed a quote unquote sponsor to get a green card. And I said to him, I'm like, I don't have a sponsor. I don't have a sponsor. Why go? And he's like, maybe there's new laws. I'm like, you know, that's a good point. Maybe there's new laws. And I remember we went, the attorney hired me on the spot to be his legal assistant. I was 21 years old with 1 year left in my permit, having to go to Israel. I came to him for a consult. He hired me on the spot, and I got my green card 3 years later, and I became a US citizen 5 years later. Talk about gratitude. It came from the sky, but it came from me, because there was no way I was going back to Israel. It's not happening, right? Fearless woman, rock. Good. I love that. I don't know how to see these comments here, guys. Anyway, there was no way that I was going back to Israel. So I was getting my green card. So do you think in my life I ever thought I would get sponsored by the immigration attorney we went to get for a consultation for a green card? The whole thing was ridiculous, but that's what I'm talking about. See, guys, I love this saying that I heard once. You know what you know what you don't know, but you don't know what you don't know. Again, you know what you know what you don't know, but you don't know what you don't know. So if you're having issues with money and getting a job or starting a business, it's okay. You don't know. Accept the fact that you just don't know. Accept that, but make the decision that you will make $10,000, $50,000. I don't care what that number is. Make it realistic. I don't want you to make a number of $1 million if you've never even made 1,000, right? It's like kids before, they're born, and then they sit up, and then they crawl, and then they walk, and then they run. There is a process to it, but you have to have the ravenous, the hunger. You must be hungry for it. And if you're not, then don't complain. I don't do whining. I don't do complaining. No, because we live in the best country in the whole wide world. And even if you're not American, we live in the best time of our world today. Even with all this horrible stuff happening, our world today is at a precipice of unproportioned income changes, infrastructure. It's just incredible. And if you're not riding that wagon, that's a real bummer. You should be right on it, having fun. Okay. So when it talks, so again, mindset of money, right? Fight for your money, not by saying who can give me, by where can I earn it? Be proud of earning. It's so great to earn money. It's such a good feeling. I'm not interested in handouts. I'm not interested. I want to earn it because I'm capable and I'm smart, and there's so much, it's right in front of you. So how do you go and grab it? What's your piece of that pie? Everyone gets a slice. My father always used to tell me, he's not alive anymore, and he would say to me, Revi, there's a big pie and everyone gets a slice of it. Never worry about their slice. Because I remember one time I was upset in my recruiting business, whatever, they got a higher cut than me, long story. And I remember he said to me, Revi, are you happy with how much you made? I'm like, yeah, I made nice money. I'm very happy. I'm like, but they made more. And he goes, forget what they made. Are you happy with what you ate? I said, yes, I'm happy. Zip the lip. You see, again, don't look at him. Don't look at her. That's noise. It creates noise and it pushes you down. Release. I always say, I go, don't care what they think. Don't care what they do. Release. If you need to block them, then block them. If you need to cut them out of your life, do whatever you need to do to make yourself feel good. That's all I care about. I only care about you feeling good. When you feel good, you're invincible. When you feel like crap, forget it. You're a sinking ship. But man, swim for the goddamn shore. Don't tread water. When you tread water, you will go under. Just fight for that money. Fight for it. Oh, that's what I do. I'm like, oh, every day I slay. I slay my prey. I am aggressive. I am ambitious. I am driven. Not even so much for me. It's not so much about the money, but it is about the goal. Like for me, 7 figures, I've been wanting to do it now for like 20 years. I've never been able to attain it. And I've learned that the reason is I do have some blockages with it, which is what I'm talking to you about, the mindset of vibration and energy and having the respect and honor and really fighting and being uncomfortable and going to places that you haven't gone. Because you see, if what you're doing is not working, then you have to do things that you've never done. So I realized in my recruiting business, I was never gonna make more. I just couldn't do it. I kept hitting the same numbers. Yeah, I would oscillate year to year. And obviously in 2008, when the market crashed, I almost went under life, but I pulled through it. But, I'm now saying, okay, if I want to hit 7 figures, I can't do recruiting anymore. To me, I'm going to go to the digital online space. Because I see in a digital online space, it's a huge growing industry. Everyone's on there, and there's potential to make 7, if not 8 figures. Sign me up. You think I know how? Do you think I even knew how to do this friggin' StreamYard and going live? Do you think I knew anything about TikTok? Do you think I knew anything about how to put a group together on Facebook? Give me a break. Yeah, I know some work from my recruiting business, but from a recruiting perspective, what I'm doing now is showing up as a true influencer in the space of women empowerment. This is all new to me. Like, just look at what I'm doing. That's what I'm talking about. You think there's days that I don't say, who do I think I am? And then I'm like, Revi, stop. I talk about self-verbal abuse. When I start, I go there. You think I don't dip and I don't double dip? Dip, baby, dip. But that's okay, because when you dip, you're going to come right back out of it. What other choice do we have, guys? I mean, there's just no other choice. It's so exciting. And this is what happens again when you start thinking about money and what it creates. And that's the other thing about money. It's not the money, it's what the money does. See, people get attached to the money. Unless, like I talked to you about the relationship the other day, that you get attached to the man. You're like, oh, this guy will be the one. You have 3 texts from him. He says, I'm beautiful, and he's retired. I'm golden. No, like, you don't attach to the guy. You attach to the end result. Same thing with money. You don't attach to the money. You attach to the end result. What does the money give you? It gives you success. It gives you security. It can give you freedom. It can give you peace of mind. How does that feel? It feels so damn good. So again, now instead of having this relationship of, oh, I'm not going to look at my bank account. Oh, somebody's speaking in Yiddish. I bet you that's my Aunt Berta. I wonder if that's her. I don't know who's there in Yiddish. But anyway, so that is really the mindset about money and career. So there's 2 ways as far as earning money that we talk about. There's one, basically working online, which is what I'm doing right now. And there's a couple ways, and we'll talk about it. And the other way is getting a job. For some people, getting a job, it's exactly what you need to do. Because if you need money, if you really, really, really need money, then you don't have time to build a business unless you're capable of doing it. There are people that will start a Shopify store, or they'll start, blogging and do articles and selling it. If that's who you really are, and you have to know who you are, then go for it. You can do that. But if you're somebody that's a little too much and overwhelming, then get a job. Get the job. I don't care if you're making $8 an hour. And don't give me an excuse. I love people like, oh, but I have my son. Okay, so then work when you don't have your son, or work at night, or figure out other things. I don't care. I don't care if you're netting $3. So then I'm only netting $3 an hour. It's $3 more than you were making. See, this is what I'm talking about. People who give those excuses, then you know what? You're right. You won't have money. No one's giving it to you. Sorry, not happening. They're not giving it to you. This situation is directly part of decisions that you've made in your life. So yeah, be a grown up. Don't sit there and say, well, a friend of mine, I remember she goes, I was so stupid. I gave him full authority of the money. No, you weren't stupid. You're not a stupid person. Maybe you were naive. That's a better word. I like naive much better. But yeah, now if you don't have money, that's a direct accountability. Can you repeat again what you heard about money? Treat it like a relationship. This was awesome. Yes. Susie Ormond, who's one of the best, she has talk shows on CNBC. I just love her. And this is something I heard back in my 20s. I'm 28. So it was like, 8 years ago, even though I have a 21-year-old. I had Michael when I was like -4. No, I'm kidding. She said, when it comes to money, guys, this is really important. You must treat it, you're having a relationship with money, just like you're having a relationship with a human. I'm going to see if I can pop onto my phone and see who's making these comments, because on StreamYard, it doesn't show me who's making the comments. So forgive me, I'm not looking at the screen. I can find my live. Am I even live in my group? Oh gosh, I wonder if I'm not live in the group. Okay, so you need to have a relationship with money. So how do you have that relationship? Just like you do with a human. You have to love it. You have to love money. You have to treat money with respect. You have to give attention to money. You have to nurture money. You have to watch it, take care of it, feed it. What's feeding money? I don't know. Are you getting interest? That's how are you putting in the bank account or hiding it under the water? Are you looking at the money and saying, thank God that money is there? Or are you saying, oh, I can't look at my bank account today. I'm afraid to see what's there. See the relationship? One is repelling and one is, where is it? Oh my God, I'm minus. Stop everything I'm doing. Let's emergency. We're taking care of it. How do I get the minus out of the way? I need to borrow money. I need to close the bank account. All of a sudden you're like saying money is important. I must protect my money. I must make my money safe. So now your relationship with money is a positive one, and the money will give that back to you. That is exactly how you do it. You haven't been doing it. And if money's an issue, then I'm sure it's because you've been repelling it, because you're afraid of it, you're overwhelmed by it, you're frightened by it. And you're right. You're right. So you have to be extremely self-conscious of money, and you have to just really nurture it. As I mentioned earlier in my life, I check my bank account, I check my brokerage account 5 times a day. I want to know what my stocks are doing. I want to know what money's going in and out. I do my QuickBooks. I have a bookkeeper. She reconciles my account every month. I want to know what the hell is going on. If there's one charge on my Amex that's pending that I don't agree with, I fight. Just the other day, I fought with Amazon. This is how much I respect money. This is what I'm talking about, respecting money, just like you respect a person's feelings. You respect every single dollar. So on Amazon, I bought 2 antibacterial soaps, and I thought it was the really big ones for the dishwasher. It was expensive. It was like $23. I said, whatever. I figured it was the really big ones because the picture looked it. I come there to the travel size. They're this big. I was furious. So I contacted Amazon. They're like, you bought it from FBM, which means fulfilled by merchant and not fulfilled by Amazon. FBA, FBM. By the way, I had an FBA store, which I'll tell you about another time. So I told the seller, this is how much I respect money, $20. Now I make much more per hour, but I respect my $20, $23 it was actually altogether. So I contacted the seller, and I told him exactly what I wanted. I was very clear. I believe in clarity. I said, I feel that you price gouged during COVID. I want a full refund. So he says, you need to return the product. I said, then send me a prepaid label. He goes, I'm not sending you a prepaid label. I'm like, well, to return these 2 products will cost me $20. I said, I'm not sending you the products back, and you need to refund me the money because you price gouged. So he said, how is that fair? I said, how is that fair? I go, why is it fair that you charged $13 or $12, whatever it was, for 4-ounce size dishwashing soap when it looked like I was buying the Costco extra large size? What does he say to me? Everyone was doing it. And I said, just because everyone's doing it doesn't make it right. And I said, this is what I said to him. Don't email me back. Give me a full refund. If you want me to ship you the product, send me a prepaid envelope. If not, I will keep it. And I said, if you do not refund me, I will escalate it to Amazon. Exactly 30 seconds later, the refund came in. I fight for my money. I fight for it. Every dollar. I respect it, I honor it, and I fight for my money because it's mine. And if I don't take that much caring and respect for the money I earn, then why the hell should the money respect me? That's what Susie Orman said. If you don't respect money, it will not respect you. If you love money and take good care of it and nourish it, just like I have my beautiful plant here in my room, I talk to my plant, I water it, it gives me energy. It is a form, it is a commodity, but the commodity is valuable. It's valuable. People look at money like, oh, no. Money brings peace. Money brings security. Money makes me feel safe. Money pays for my mortgage, puts food on my table. Susie Orman's amazing. I wish I could see you guys' names. Am I live in the Facebook group, guys? Are you guys in my group? Because I'm not seeing it on the phone. I don't know if I'm just live in the page or in the group. The page is the Facebook page, but the group is the more intimate environment. I don't see myself on here, so I hope I am. I hope I am. Is this live? No. Am I live on the group, guys? Anyway, let me know if you can. So let me talk a little. What time is it? Wow, it's already, I was late though. I usually like to do 30-minute slides, but we'll go for another 10 minutes. Let's talk about some ways to make money. So first of all, be empowered and, okay, thanks, Rivka Levy. I don't see it on my phone. Be empowered and emboldened by money. It is a fearless woman mentality. Do not be intimidated. Do not be afraid of it. Do not shy away from it. Educate yourself. If you don't know about money, then educate yourself. It's called YouTube. My favorite destination, YouTube. You know, you need to learn about money. The more you learn and understand it, the stronger and more emboldened you become. So that's number one. So when it comes to ideas for money, guys, there's so, I'm like blown away by how many ways there are to make money. If you're thinking about doing some work to be self-employed and to work from home, there's two amazing, amazing websites other than YouTube, but YouTube can be overwhelming because there's so much data. Go to a website, and I'll post it in the group, Fiverr. Fiverr.com. F for Frank, Iverr.com. That website is a free, it's a freelance, it's freelancing work. What I want you to do is go in there as a vendor. Just pretend you're using somebody's services. So go in there as I guess it's called a buyer. I guess that's what you would call it, or a person who needs services. I guess it'll tell you what you are. So you log in, it's free. And what I want you to do is see all these freelancers, what they offer. Believe it or not, there are people that offer their services for $5, $10, $20 to write a testimonial. There are people that offer services to convert documents, to do logos, to speak over, like some people have really bad accents, so they need voiceovers on their videos. There's a script. Some people say, I'll write an article for you about dating. I'll write an article for you about love. I'll write an article for you about money. Whatever you want to, gardening, cooking, whatever the hell that you're good at. You have hobbies. You maybe are really good at fishing, or you're really good at cooking, or really good at baking. Maybe somebody needs that. So you go on Fiverr and you get ideas of all these services that people are offering. And then you go in there as a vendor. And you go in there and you put yourself as a vendor. Now, no, money's not going to come to you right away. I understand that. You got to work it. So then you promote it on your Facebook page. Hey, I'm on Fiverr. If you know anyone that needs work, I'm there. And maybe, I don't know if Fiverr does advertising, that you can advertise your services. Or if everyone's charging $50 to do a blog article, you charge $20. When I started my recruiting business 20 years ago, the going rate, I remember, was like, I forget what it was, whatever the rate was. I went in at like 75% less. Like if the going rate was 20% of a base salary, I believe my first placement was 5%. The going rate was a 30-day guarantee. I gave them 4 months. See, that's how you do it. You don't focus on the money, you focus on the end result. So if you start thinking, oh my God, I'm only going to make $20, I'm not going to do it. Good, now you just focused on the money. You're not focusing on the money, you have to focus on the end result. The end result is that 20 will become 40, will become 80, and then I have more reviews, I'll make more money. But you're so focused on the friggin' money, you're so focused, oh, I want a career, I want to make impact. You friggin', if you can't pay your rent and you can't pay your mortgage, forget career. Now it's about survival. Respect that. This is not foofy land. We're not in Disneyland. This is real life. This is real life. When I left my husband, even though I'm self-employed and make my own money, I was in such a state. I fell so hard. Fiverr, yes. Check, no, 2 R's. You know what? I think I can make my own comment. Let me see it. Did it work? Okay, and the other one is Upwork. I do a lot of the work that I do is I freelance a lot on Fiverr and Upwork. And I want you to be really open-minded. Like, believe it or not, there's people out there that maybe they'll send you a product. Oh, by the way, I did this once just for the heck of it because I was testing ideas of how to make money. So there was a company that needed somebody to review. They were doing like smokeless cigarettes, and they were going to give me $50 to do 3 60-second reviews on their smokeless cigarettes. I decided not to do it because I never smoked. So I'm like, I don't feel like I could really be given honest testimonial because I was never a smoker. So that's why I ended up not doing it. But he was willing to pay me $50 to do a testimonial about the smokeless cigarettes. See, this is what I'm talking about. See, but most people are just lazy. You guys are lazy and you're not willing to do the work to really sit down and say, okay, today from 9 to 12, I'm researching options of how to make money now. And you put the ego on the side. It's really what you do. Really, that is what you do. So Fiverr and Upwork, I use these 2 platforms to hire people of all things. I do a lot of digital work for my recruiting business, and of course now for Fearless Woman. I don't do any of that digital work. It's all outsourced. The woman I work with is in Romania. I work with people in Philippines. I work with people, but I have worked with people here in the States too. They hire recruiters. They hire, I mean, the options are endless. So, get out there. Rivka, who's here on here, she has a great, great voice. And I've talked to Rivka a lot about how valuable a voice, a voice now, guys, is worth a lot of money online, because a voice is, they do voiceovers. There's people who are foreigners that have accents and they can't do the video, or they have a blog that they want to transcribe verbally with audio. There's audiobooks. Yeah, but you got to find it. In this business of, well, it's expensive to get the equipment. Yeah, it's called a credit card. Okay. When you spend money on a credit card for things that will bring you more money, that's called an investment. That's not called an expense. See, again, the mindset just blows me away. The equipment's expensive. Yeah, but if you get the equipment and it costs you $300 and you put it on a credit card, if you're ravenous and really desperate and are committed to making money, you might make $1,000 in 6 months. So yeah, you paid 20% a year on that $500. Okay, so maybe you paid $30, $40 in interest, but now you paid it off and now you have a way of making consistent income. See, so that again it's always these excuses. I just don't buy it. If you're using your credit card to friggin' buy a pair of like Gucci shoes, then yeah, that's a problem. But if you're using your credit card in order to invest in your education and your growth in your business and ways of making money, then you friggin' do it. You do it. That's a good investment. Who says putting money on a credit card to buy, like I bought a lot of equipment. You should see my whole room here. I mean, obviously I didn't use a credit card, but when I started my recruiting business, we were desperate. When I started my recruiting business 20 years ago, we had more than $1 million in the bank account and the NASDAQ crashed. I don't know, some of you guys remember that or not, but we had the tech crash. My husband and I put, like idiots, we're not idiots, we just were naive. There you go. See how I correct myself? We put all our money in the market. We had over $1 million real cash in the market. And overnight, our $1 million went to around 80 grand. I'm not kidding, within 1 week, we were in shock. So how do you rebuild from that? I used my credit card. And that's when I started my recruiting business. And I used it, I paid for it. I remember I posted jobs on monster.com. I had them invoice me. I remember with monster.com, I needed to put jobs on there. I didn't even have clients. I'm like, I'm gonna get the clients, but what do I have first, the clients or the candidates? Because as a recruiter, you need both. I'm like, the clients will come. I'll start soliciting clients, but I also need candidates. So monster.com had just started. I called monster.com. I'm like, how can I pay you? They're like, okay, there's 2 ways, credit card or invoicing. I'm like, what does invoicing mean? They're like, oh, we send you an invoice on paper. I'm like, how long do I have to pay for that? 90 days. I'm like, oh, well, with a credit card, it's interest that I have to pay, but with an invoice, there's no interest. I'm like, in 90 days, I will make a placement. And in 90 days, I made $10,000 and I paid, the invoice was for 5. You see, there was no option. I was making money. It's really that simple, guys. It's really that, it's just like that. So Fiverr and Upwork will give you ideas as a freelancer of ways of making money. So I suggest you check that out. Go in there as a company, like pretend you're signing up as somebody who's using services and check what people do. Get ideas of how to make money as an independent freelancer. And for many of us, that's critical because we do have kids at home. We have carpool. God willing, things will go back to normal again. And, we'll need the flexibility. That's why I loved working for myself for all those years. Ironically, I did recruiting, so I got really good in like the resume and LinkedIn and how to interview and all that. But truly, I was self-employed. And I love that because it gave me flexibility to be with my kids. So that's important too. Like you also have to be realistic in your situation that if you do have kids at home, that maybe getting what they call a real job, a 9 to 5, is just not possible for you. So again, that's once again a maturation. It's just grow up already. Stop being the ostrich. I can't stand ostriches. I'm sorry, guys. It's a problem. I'm extremely self-driven, and that's something everyone can have. It just means if you're not self-driven, then you're not hungry. You have to be hungry. If you're not hungry, ask yourself why. No, I can't answer that question. I'm always hungry. Like I love making money. Again, not for the money sake of it, but for pride. I freaking did it, So anyway, sorry, I'm distracting, babbling. I could talk for hours, right? So Upwork and Fiverr, again, check it out, see what options there are. The other way, of course, is getting a real job. So getting a real job, I mean, again, I've been recruiting for 20 years. My company's called Wall Street Personnel. I have worked with the toughest employers out there. And listen, it's a highly competitive market space right now in the job market space. Applying for that job on a company's website for marketing, entry level 3 years, you're like, oh, well, I've been out of college for 20 years, but I'm entry level. Let me apply for that job. You're wasting your time. Okay, that's the truth of it. So you have to be realistic in your assets and your strengths and your skills on your resume and apply for jobs that are like that. So, if you haven't worked for a long time, my biggest advice for you is just to announce it personally in your Facebook group, in your Facebook page. If you know people, let them know you're looking for a job. Be your own cheerleader. Once again, people do this. Don't do this. You have to go after it. You have to make the decision and then go and get it. It will not come to you, but it is there and you need to go to it. So if you're looking for a job, you need to be telling people, I'm looking for a job. And once again, if you're that desperate for a job, you cannot be picky. You can't say, no, that doesn't sound good. Or that's not enough for me. Because if you're making $500 a week and now you're making zero, well, then you're making $500 a week. It starts there and then you build upon it. Because the other thing too is, again, you know what you know what you don't know, but you don't know what you don't know. Meaning when I went to meet with that immigration attorney 20, some years ago for a consultation about a green card, did I ever in my life think that he would hire me to be his legal assistant and sponsor me for a green card? I ended up running that man's office. The only thing I didn't do was go to court and sign his checks. But other than that, I took over. But I understand that is me, and a lot of people don't do that. But my example, why is that story important, is because you don't know where things will lead. You don't know that. No, you don't. You're like, I'm not taking that job. It's a dead-end job. You don't know it's a dead-end job. Why are you making these rules in your head? People make rules in their head. They make these decisions and rules in their head, and they treat it as it is so. But it's not true. Evidence. I went to an immigration attorney for a consultation about what other options there are to get a green card, because my husband at the time said, Revy, there might be new laws. And I realized he's right, because I thought I knew all the laws. What the hell was I thinking? I knew all. I'm like, there's only one way to get a green card other than marrying an American, which of course the guy I married didn't have a green card either. Isn't that ironic? So do what needs to be done. Don't think it's a dead-end job, because if you think it's a dead-end job, you're right. You don't know, maybe the person next to you might know somebody, maybe you might meet somebody else, maybe the manager, maybe, I knew this one woman that got this one position as an assistant in a brokerage firm. A year later, the manager had a huge fight with the owner and quit. And she ended up getting promoted and becoming the manager of the office. And years later, she now has equity ownership of the business. And that was a dead-end job, if you want to call that. So stop making these decisions. And if you really need money, then take whatever money that you can find, okay? And go and get it and just start there, because then you'll feel better. And then when you come home, instead of binging on Netflix and being on Facebook for 5 hours, you get back on YouTube and maybe you figure out how to make money from blogging, or you figure out how to make money from writing, or you figure out if somebody could use somebody to just make posts on social media and Instagram, or just do posts on Facebook. There's something called being a virtual assistant. There's something called rev.com. I'm gonna write it here. I think that's what it's called, rev.com, that you can sign up to be a typist. I tested it. I didn't type fast enough. So they didn't hire me, but you could make $20 an hour typing, transcribing videos, audiobooks. List is endless. It's endless. You can sell things on eBay. There are people, by the way, did you guys check out Poshmark? I just saw a commercial on it the other day. I have to check it out. Apparently with Poshmark, you take pictures of clothes in your closet that you're not wearing, and apparently they take a cut of it and you can sell it. Like, why wouldn't you try that? This is what I'm talking about. Like, there's so many ways of making money, but yet you're not willing to do the work in order to make it because you want this. That's not happening, because you had that in your marriage and look what happened. So anyway, it's 1:05, guys. I've gone way over. So that's my thoughts about money, about looking for a job, applying for a job, you know, all that stuff. You guys are more than welcome to connect with me on LinkedIn. I do post on LinkedIn job-related tips, how to find a job, how to interview. I have a whole separate blog that I did a couple years ago called Find a Job Like a Pro. And I talk a lot about, you know, I have a podcast there. I mean, I don't do that anymore so much because this is really what makes me happy, is empowering women, not so much telling people how to get a job, you know, working for a company. Ultimately, that's not what I believe in. You know, I believe in working from home. I believe in working from anywhere, WFH, WFA. I believe in having freedom. I'm not one to work a 9-to-5 job, working at a desk and working for somebody else. That doesn't mean that's not for you. Just because it's not for me doesn't mean it's not for you. I've placed hundreds of people in jobs that thrive and do very, very well in the investment sector. I specialize in finance. All right, guys. So I babbled a lot. I'm sorry I couldn't really see all your questions and comments. We're good. I'm just going to let you know that next week I'm going to change my lives, because this was a little too much for me to do so many. Plus, I'm doing the Zoom, and I love the Zoom. We did the Zoom. If you guys know anyone going through divorce, thinking about divorce, divorced and still kind of recovering, please join the Zoom. It's $5. And the more people we are, the more interesting it gets. And it just makes you feel like you're not alone. It's something I really, really want to grow. I love that. I love the group, the Facebook group. Of course, I love my TikTok, but I would love to create an online support group for women going through a divorce, going through a heartbreak, trying to rebuild and recover, because it just feels good to know that you're not alone. And that's what it's so great. So Zoom is Monday at 12 Eastern, Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. If it gets bigger and better, I plan on obviously adding more times. But next week, I will be just doing lives Tuesday and Thursday at 12 noon. And I'll have a guest on Wednesday. I'll put the updated banner because it's just 3 times a week plus the Zoom. I get pooped because I'm a big giver. And obviously when you give, you also need to reset. That's my balance. That's my boundary. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining. And I will be seeing you soon. Ciao, bye-bye.